Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Hangouts. We're here on Zoom again because Skype can go away. I was going to be mean, but the world is mean enough right now. So I'll just say Zoom is better.
It
I'm
is.
your host, Diego Crespo. And that other voice is my good friend and co-host, Universa. Gene, how's it going?
It's going good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too from a safe social distance of,
Yeah,
I think we're like 30 miles apart from each other at
good
least right now, right?
30 miles. Yeah, that's a good distance to keep
Yeah,
away
there
from
you go.
people.
That's a good
To
distance.
keep away from people.
Yeah, no, it's good. We're not even in the same county anymore, which is the change for us too right now. But that's okay. We'll be reunited again. We've had fun on these Zooms. We've had Zoom drinking parties, which have been
Hmm.
very fun with friends and whatnots. And we've also recorded stuff. So check out the Patreon for early sneak peeks and episodes. And Gene has got a very exciting guest for the next recording. So a week from the release of this episode, you guys on the Patreon will also get early access to next week's episode. Do you want to highlight it now, Gene, or do you want to hold off on that?
Yeah, I mean we could talk about it a little bit, not to spoil anything, but we had someone worked with that was a heavy metal artist. He worked on the magazine, and he was going to come on the show to just chat about his work and some of his art. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
I'm
fun.
excited about that because
Yeah.
like I don't know. This is gonna be a weird thing because it's like I love magazines and like newspapers and stuff because
Hmm.
obviously I worked in that industry for a minute there, but I also love like layout and stuff. So like I don't know, I'm a big nerd for that stuff, and I don't know. It's like saying I love computers. Like it's like yeah, like who doesn't like that stuff? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. And today's a little different though. Gene and I are just going to kind of hang out on the podcast. We're going to talk about movies we've seen on streaming recently, uh, older movies we've seen on streaming recently. I have some thoughts on the Ghost of Tsushima, which I have not played, and it's just a rant. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know
Hmm.
exactly where I'm going to go with this already. But Gene, what
Probably.
have you seen on streaming recently? There's some movies out, not in
Yeah.
theaters, but on streaming.
Yeah, from the safety of your home. Well, I'm gonna start it off with I guess like the first movie I saw on streaming, which was Capone, by the auteur Josh Trank. He's a legend on the Twitterverse, right?
He's extremely online,
He's extremely
and
online up to
I
now, I guess.
I I appreciate that. You know why?
Yeah.
Because he's a younger artist.
Hmm.
He's only a couple years older than us, first of all,
Right. Right.
and I think people severely underestimate how many artists and and art critics would have been
Oh,
extremely online if they were alive nowadays.
you broke up for I think people. You broke up
Okay,
for that. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I think people would have severely underestimated how many artists and art critics would have been severely online had
Yeah.
they been alive nowadays. Like so I am a fan, and I wish he was. I wish him better success in the future. Is what I'll
Right.
I'll say now. Uh,
Yeah.
did
No, that's
Did you like Capone?
just to speak to the film. uh I don't know what I felt like. It was like watching Venom again for me. Just a weird movie that I'm not sure I like or dislike. It's just there. Um, and Tom Hardy's just being weird again. Not in weird as in yeah, just the choices he makes are just so out there. Kind of the way he speaks as Capone, which I've never heard Capone speak, but I guess he just sounded like some like muzzled dog or something.
Apparently, um, Al Capone did basically speak like Bugs Bunny.
He spoke like Bugs.
So I think it might have been pretty
Okay,
accurate.
it's pretty.
Apparently, I don't know how.
Okay. Is that yeah? I was like, that's a weird choice, but I guess if there's historical context, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was bad or good. It was just kind of like I guess it was good to. It was a nice experiment, I guess. I would say it's just really weird. Kind of it's like it's too high of a compliment to say David Lynch, but like the lesser like two notches down from David Lynch.
I think he totally was trying to make like his David Lynch movie, down to the same director of photography having worked with David Lynch on stuff like Twin Peaks, I think. And I think that's the vibe the movie's going for. I liked it. I would say I actually liked it, and I would recommend it to people like in our immediate like film fan circle.
Yeah.
I would not recommend it. Like I think I've talked about it on the show, like my litmus test is like my godparents. God bless them, wonderful people. But like they wouldn't like a David Lynch movie. I don't think they would like this.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it was just a little too much to see him shit the bed.
You know what? I'm glad it's there. I honestly, I would not remove it, because it is the product of like a singular artistic vision.
All right.
Of a man shitting the bed. I just like that kind of exists.
All right. Well, yeah, more power to that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't bored.
Yeah. I was kind of bored, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, not to spend too much time on Capone, which again I actually did enjoy, but like there's a lot of conversations that director Josh Trank had and promoting the film with other podcasts and stuff like that. Not as good as ours, obviously, but like
obviously
he spoke very candidly about how he was drawn to the project because at that point in Al Capone's life, he's recovering from basic, it's towards the end of his life, he's suffering from like various STDs and like he's losing his mind, and it's the end of his life, right? And so Josh Trank, I guess, felt like a relatability to that, to feeling like washed up, like was everything he did kind of just like, did he throw it all away, regardless of whether or not there were things out of his control. And I don't know, it was very humbling and eye-opening, the interviews that he went through to promote this film. So I was like, okay, all right, yeah, good. I'll see what he does next for sure. Art is hard. Movies are hard to make.
It was open.
Yeah. So that's cool. Let's see. What did I see? We never talked about Extraction on this podcast,
I don't think we did.
Oh, okay. Did you like Extraction?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I didn't hate it. It's like a solid like 3 stars for me. The Russos, I think, I guess they're kind of using their position to make kind of movies like this, which is good. Don't think they're the best directors, but pretty good producers. Could give them that.
Yeah. I also liked Extraction. It's like, solid 3 stars for a direct-to-video action movie starring Chris Hemsworth with a little bit of like I was surprised how much of a supporting role the Indian action star gets in the film. I don't know that actor's name, but I was actually really impressed by him because the material focuses on Chris Hemsworth, so naturally you're like just out of the loop. I didn't even know that was going to be part of the film. I liked him a lot, and I've been a big Hemsworth fan. I think he's the number 2 Chris behind Chris Pine, honestly.
Yeah, because Chris Pine's probably the best Chris. Not like that Chris Evans taking photos with that pirate senator who's notoriously racist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Chris Evans is a lovely person in person.
Sure he is.
It's just I think he's trying to be a little too crowd pleasing and stuff like that. And like I get making that mistake. I think it's also time to like, hey, wake up, don't do that anymore.
I'm gonna say Chris Pine is the Chris that Chris Evans thinks he is.
Oh no, I don't want the Chris's to go to war or anything, but Chris Pine is the best person.
Yeah, that's the Chris that he wants to be and can't be.
Well, look, all I'm gonna say is that I think Pete Davidson should retract his apology from SNL and just keep making fun of that dude, because that dude is clearly like a piece of shit stutterer. So he can go fuck himself.
We're not even gonna say his name. We're just gonna call him Pirate Guy. He's a fucking
pirate guy. We probably should be more respectful of individuals, but fuck that guy. If you're Republican, you can go fuck yourself. Sorry. Don't watch our show. We don't want you here. or watch it, but don't comment. But also fuck off.
Yeah.
But anyways, Extraction.
Yes. Yeah.
I like the action a lot in it. Very very well directed action. I'd like to see
Mhm.
that director do something with maybe a more interesting like screenplay.
Yeah. He had a lot of good oneers, kind of one shots,
Mm-hmm.
one takes. That
Yeah,
was
so that
really
was
cool.
no that yeah,
Um,
the car one was neat.
I was gonna say it wasn't a direct-to-video sorry movie. It's an at-home premiere.
At home
That's
premiere,
the
yeah.
that's the
I guess no, you're totally right, but the premise is very like
that's the thing.
trashy direct to video, like
Yeah.
starring Scott Adkins and Michael Jai White, two great action stars, but they
Mhm.
are relegated to direct to video actioners, and that's
Yeah. I
unfortunate
mean,
because they're very talented.
I've worked on a movie that had Michael J. White that was direct-to-video, so pretty accurate
Mm.
there.
Yeah, I'm a huge Michael Jai White fan, so that's
Yeah.
please everyone do not think of that as a criticism
No. Yeah.
at all.
He's in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's right. The the Christopher Nolan film that is still totally not controversial nowadays.
Yeah.
Film Twitter sure loves to rag on Christopher Nolan. Not that he's perfect, but
No.
maybe that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. Speaking of
Mhm.
Pete Davidson, did
Yeah.
you watch The King of Staten Island?
I did. I rented it for the nice old price of $20.
Yeah, I totally get why these rentals cost that much.
Yeah.
Still a little steep, but I get it.
Totally.
I understand why it has to.
You could split it with someone, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do that from now on. Sorry to
Yeah.
studios or something, but yeah. I liked it a lot. I think that Judd Apatow, when he teams up with very interesting cinematographers, his movies get exponentially better. Because even when they're shooting like basic coverage and stuff, like
Mhm.
if you have someone like oh shoot, who shot this? Oh, it's gonna kill me. He works with P.T. Anderson all the time. Robert Elswit is the cinematographer, and
Okay.
he's shot like again a bunch of PTA stuff, and he's also shot Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, which
Mhm.
is the shit. And so
Yeah.
he's one of the best in the business. And something about the way that Judd Apatow edits his movies is always like they're always way too long, but I also
Yes.
kind of like the free
Notoriously.
flowing nature of them a little bit. Like he's trying to like very clearly create like an atmosphere. It's like, oh, it doesn't feel like a movie; it feels like real life. But then
Mhm.
they always end up ending like movies, except for like Funny People, which is still my favorite, but is also a little too long.
Yeah, it's a little too long. Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
but like that, how like Adam Sandler has like a great film performance like every decade. That's like the one for the mid to late 2000s after Punch Drunk Love. But did you like The
Yeah.
King of Staten Island?
I did, yeah. I felt that it was different than his usual fare, and it really stood out. I really enjoyed Pete Davidson. I don't get why that guy gets hated on. People don't
I
like that guy.
to go all film bro and
Okay.
like frat broy for a second. God forgive me. Um, I think people, at least men, are a little upset that he keeps entangling with some of the more traditionally attractive women in the film industry. And I think the big question on everyone's mind is how?
Oh, I
Like
guess
I
he's
don't
funny.
get it. I'm not sleeping with him, so I don't care. But like I don't get it. But that's
He's just
not like I think that's a thing that men have against him.
yeah.
Um I had never really because I don't watch SNL anymore, obviously.
No, it's whack.
So I've never been familiar with like his comedy or anything like that outside of that. I thought he was really good in this. I liked his
Yeah.
dramatic stuff a lot in this.
Mhm. Yeah, I felt he was a really strong in the dramatic parts of the movie, but he's just fucking funny. I just always get a good laugh out of him.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, like I emphasize the dramatic stuff, but I thought it was funny too.
Yeah,
And also, especially the stuff with Bill Burr. Bill Burr is just like a comedic god nowadays.
yeah.
Like, I don't watch the Joe Rogan show at all, so definitely don't take that away from this. But like, I saw the clip of him on Joe Rogan's show, and like,
Want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this,
Do
Joe.
you though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar,
surprised how
acting
much,
like we know what's
yeah,
up,
you could
better
really
than
go
the
for Bill Burr
CDC.
in that moment.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely a problematic fave, you know, because then sometimes he'll be like, "Women are overrated," and it's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But then he says very knowledgeable stuff, like, dude, just listen to the CDC. We don't know what the fuck. We have no
Listen to, like, the
PhD
guy
in
that has-
medicine.
Yeah. Just has like a degree in like broology.
That's a perfect way of putting it. Bill
Yeah.
Burr has a PhD in broology, but
Yeah,
I
I
would
keep,
genuinely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I keep hearing all those guys say it's all the broology doctors say it's okay to go to Vegas, and I keep seeing people going to fucking Vegas in the middle of
Yeah.
health
It's,
crisis.
Mhm.
Pandemic.
Yeah, maybe don't go to
Maybe don't
Vegas in
go.
the middle of a pandemic, and especially if you're actually no, don't go to Vegas at all right now. Like, what are you thinking?
You
But
gamble
no,
from
I
home?
would actually, I would be pretty happy with Bill Burr and Pete Davidson getting like award recognition when the time
Yeah, whatever
comes.
awards are gonna be, whatever that's gonna be.
But they already fucked it up because they're like, no, we're gonna extend the deadline to like next April or some stupid shit, which is like they could have made it so cool and fun and interesting, but no, whatever. Anyways,
because they're cowards.
I like they are cowards, man. They really are. One of my big criticisms of the film, though, and this just kind of like a whole thing with this actress, Marissa Tomei deserves way more than mom roles, and she keeps just getting lobbed right back into them. And she's not bad. It's Marissa Tomei. She's fucking fantastic. But like, I just really want to see filmmakers give her a shot at doing something else right now, because once she came back into the spotlight with Aunt May, like that was kind of it.
Yeah,
So,
and then she's not really utilized too much as Aunt May. She doesn't really I don't know, she kind of like leaves those movies and then like comes back at like the end. You know? That's so weird.
like at least in Homecoming, there's like moments where they hint at something happening there, and then there's like just not
Nothing.
just like how hot she is. And it's like, yeah, it's Marissa Tomei. We all know she's gorgeous, but like she can also act. Like whatever. We shouldn't get into a whole thing there.
No.
Whatever. Justice for Marissa Tomei. That's my take. What else have you seen recently, Gene?
There's a movie I thought kind of want to vouch for. I'd go with Justice League Apocalypse War. I was
okay.
Really enjoying that animated movie, which some of their movies have been fairly not good the last couple of years, and then they started their own animated universe. But this is like a end all crossover for all their like characters in that universe, and I was really enjoying it. I felt that it kind of goes off the source material and then does its own thing, and I was really kind of impressed where it's like a kind of like a last sort of a Justice League story with like a depowered Superman and the Suicide Squad helping them, and just a ragtag group of heroes trying to fight Darkseid. The voice cast is pretty good. Tony Todd's Darkseid.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job because the only other memorable Darkseid is probably like Michael Ironside from the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ever do Darkseid, whenever, they should probably have either of those two.
Yeah, that would be great. My ideal casting for both Darkseid and Thanos before when the first Avengers teased it, I was like, this is who needs to play him, was Ron Perlman. That didn't happen. But God, that voice, it's just so good. But Tony Todd and Michael Ironside, like obviously those are I would be happy with those two. Those are great choices.
but he's good as like Slade or Deathstroke. So
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Teen
yeah,
Titans.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
he could voice a good villain. But yeah, I thought the movie was really enjoyable. It's very shocking in how many people they kill off. But yeah, it had a lot of good stakes, and yeah, I would recommend that. Justice League Apocalypse War.
Okay. Let's see. There's a couple. There's like a trilogy of
Yeah,
Netflix movies that I want to touch on really
right.
quick.
We didn't touch on that because I
Yeah.
know what
Okay.
movie you're talking about.
Wait. Oh no. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Five Bloods.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we can just list them off right now. We'll hop around with them.
Yeah.
Spike Lee's The Five Bloods, Eurovision: The Story of Fire Saga, and The Old Guard. Gina Prince Bythewood's new action film. So I guess let's just do it chronological order. Spike Lee's The Five Bloods. Not controversial to say this is probably gonna get the gold next year.
Yeah, I hope so.
And for good reason. Delroy Lindo, he better get nominated for Best Actor at least, if not win it. One of Spike Lee's best in 2 decades, like alongside 25th Hour for me. And every once in a while you hear like critics say like this is the movie for our times or whatever. Very rarely does it actually feel like you're watching a movie and it feels like, oh wow, like the perfect storm of like timing, lightning in a bottle filmmaking and themes like all kind of come together. And I think The Five Bloods is like really that film.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it because I really enjoyed Klansman. That was one of I felt is one of his best films, and it really I don't know, yeah, it kind of felt like a new sort of not new sort of style, but new sort of like stories he's telling. Because yeah, they have a lot to say about the political climate, and they're just like really like fun, like just seeing the characters like hang out and drink, and the kind of yeah the draw the tension in that movie, like the scene with the mine is yeah, that's a really great sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Treasure of the Sierra Madre too.
Oh
It's
no,
just
it's totally his riff on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's like yeah, the character with the MAGA hat just kind of seemed like it's like a cursed object. The
Mm-hmm.
fucking red hat just keeps you know keeps fucking him over.
Yeah, and I think it's the way he approaches that material. Because Spike Lee said the original script for The Five Bloods was like very different, just inherently because it wasn't about Black Americans in Vietnam. It was just a squad of white soldiers. It sold on spec, someone somewhere like a decade ago, right? And then Spike Lee picked it up.
Right.
He's like, let's kind of rework it from the ground up. And he's like, okay, all these Black Americans, they know what it's like to suffer at the hands of America, fighting in a war that's basically they're just fodder for, right? Like it's such a tragic story, but it's also a fun adventure movie. And it's like it's really hard to kind of like coalesce into one story and not have it feel like tonally all over the place. And so the way he brings it all together is like really touching and sad, but like inspiring too. Like yeah, there's a lot of progress that needs to be made, but like look at like all the steps we've taken since then to get to where we are, and like that's kind of inspiring too. But also I think the way he approaches the MAGA hat stuff is actually really don't twist my words like this, anyone, or don't snippet this out. But like I think touching, hear me out, because Delroy Lindo's character is such a broken man.
Yeah.
That I think this is not across the board for people that are Trump supporters. Some people are just genuinely awful people,
Terrible,
right? Like
yeah.
no coming back from that stuff, right? And you know, not to spoil anything, but Delroy Lindo's character is pretty far down the rabbit hole in this film. Like he's Trump 2020, right? And so but I think he understands that some of these people are just so like beaten down and broken that like that basically that MAGA momentum, it almost gives them just like a new lease on life almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes them feel like they can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make themselves better from a situation that's basically taken power out of their control. And so I thought that was very smart and clever, and the way the film handles that and wraps that story up in particular felt very appropriate. And I really don't want to spoil it for people because it's a terrific film. It's my favorite of the year for sure. But that was the thread of the film that I was like, oh wow, like there's a lot of thought put into the politics of this film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Spike Lee movie, of course it fucking does. But yeah, it's also just a great like war adventure film, which is weird to say, I know, because its take on war is obviously that it was very bad, because war is bad. There's no good to come from war, you know. But yeah, but yeah, it's a terrific film. And I don't know if you saw Eurovision, The Story of Fire Saga.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Your mileage may vary depending on how much you're into Will Ferrell stuff. It is not as good as something like Step Brothers or The Other Guys or Anchorman, right?
Yeah, he's kind of been hit or miss lately, Will Ferrell.
But I would say this is a big hit. I loved it. I did not expect to love it. I was just like, yeah, I like Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams has just become like a comedy legend, like secretly this whole time, because she is incredible in this. Like, wow. But I loved it. It's you know how it's going to play out from like the get-go, but it was so touching and sweet and sincere, and I might have been choked up randomly a couple times with no additional substances to get me to that point. But it's ridiculous and it's a Will Ferrell movie. You know what you're going to get into, but like I don't know. It was so sincere, and maybe it's just like the hellscape we live in that's gotten me to this point. That I just embraced it with open arms. Now it's like,
any new movie at this point, it's like, oh, I'm watching the Lovebirds. I'm like, oh, just glad to be seeing a new movie.
yeah, you know, like, okay. I think you brought up the Lovebirds before, but if you want to talk about it a little more right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that pretty funny. I was like, you know, a good stoner sort of comedy, if you partake in that. And yeah, there were some like pretty good gags. I love Kumail. You know, I love all his work, and yeah, it was just I loved Stuber last year. It was just sort of just really subversive, and yeah, just a funny movie. I don't know. I can't really say too much.
Yeah, and I mean sometimes it's just like there's not much to say about a movie like that, you know. And like like I agree with everything you're saying about the Lovebirds. Like it's not the best, but like whatever. I liked it. That's sometimes that's all you need, you know.
Yeah,
I think Eurovision's kind of similar, except I liked Eurovision a lot. And if I had a top 10 this year so far, it's probably on it.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as The Five Bloods, and I honestly wouldn't say it's not as good as The Old Guard. Did you watch The Old Guard, Gene?
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to check it out.
Okay.
No,
then
something about Netflix. It's something about the Netflix films. I'll get around to it eventually. It's not like Artemis Fowl. I'll never see it again. Never.
You don't need to. Yeah. No one. Sorry, Kenneth Branagh. I still love Thor and Murder on the Orient Express and all your Shakespeare shit. But wow. I'll just talk about The Old Guard briefly and a little bit of the director's work, because I actually really like her. She did Love and Basketball, Aquila and the Bee, I think. Did I fuck that up? That's a cute little family drama. Unless I'm thinking of a different film, in which case I don't know. And she did Beyond the Lights. Oh no, she did The Secret Life of Bees. Excuse me. It's probably her weakest film apart from The Old Guard, but still like solid. But Love and Basketball and Beyond the Lights are really great films that are very like romantic, and the way she crafts character relationships is like it feels very casual, you know. Like we kind of brought up the Judd Apatow thing earlier, where he's trying to make it feel like real life with stuff that goes on a little bit too long, whatever. I don't know who her editor is, but whenever she works with them, like they know exactly when to take you in and take you back out with like the character dynamic stuff.
Yeah.
So her Beyond the Lights and Love and Basketball are her best films. I'd recommend them to everyone. The Old Guard, I would actually recommend too. It's a solid start to a very obvious attempt at building another Netflix franchise. I liked it more than Extraction,
Yeah.
and I forget who wrote the review, but someone's pull quote was like, "It's like an X-Men movie where every character was Wolverine." And at first I was like, that sounds awful, because I
Yeah.
love Wolverine and I love X-Men, right? But like, who wants that? And the whole thing
Mhm.
about the Old Guard is that I didn't know this. Okay, so I like that's on me. But the whole thing with the Old Guard, the premise is that it's a group of mercenaries trying to make the world a better place who live forever, basically, right? But not
Yeah.
always. Sometimes eventually their life just runs out. There's no way to foretell that. It just sometimes their time is up, and it's maybe doesn't focus as much on that as I would have liked it to, but I think Gina Prince Bythewood focuses on it like in a way that's more it's better than your average superhero fare, because I think this is kind of a superhero-y movie.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's based on a comic book.
oh, there you go. Okay, see,
Yeah.
I totally forgotten that. Who's the Greg Rucka, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I remember now. But no, it's solid. It's worth checking out on Netflix. I would recommend every movie I talked about on Netflix today, which
Yeah.
is not something I would have said like a year ago. So
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know.
2020, you
Like
won.
you would recommend like Six Underground.
Yeah, but that was oh my god, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend it for the Bayhem fans. I wouldn't recommend it to a normal, sane
Oh.
person.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that your mileage may vary on that. I think most people would actually like the Old Guard.
Okay.
Yeah, and Kiki Lane from Beale Street.
Yeah. That was a
Beale
great,
Street.
great
Yeah,
movie. Everyone slept
great
on it.
movie, great actress, and she's really good in this too. So, thumbs up on that. Woo. Any other movies you want to highlight, Gene? Because I think we have to start wrapping up soon. Am I wrong?
Just yeah. We're kind of getting up there in time in terms of our at home premieres. I really enjoyed Superman Red Sun, another DC movie there. It was it's another one of those Mark Millar stories where people are like, oh, this is a good idea, but he's a terrible writer. And they reinvent the wheel there, just making it a lot better. Palm Springs I felt was pretty good.
Oh, I want to see that. I haven't checked that
Yeah,
out yet.
I really enjoyed it. Andy Samberg, great. I wouldn't recommend Irresistible because spent $20 for that fucking twist ending, and just like I was like that scene in Silver Linings Playbook where he finishes the end of War and Peace or whatever and just fucking throws it out. Throws it out the
Which one's
window.
Irresistible though? Because when you said
John,
Irresistible, I was like,
yeah,
Gaspar Noé?
no, it was the Jon Stewart movie, which is his first movie. Rosewater was actually really enjoyable, but yeah, this was.
Oh, I forgot he did a movie.
Yeah, this one was just really like, yeah, politics suck, but it's like doesn't really say anything more than that.
And see, like, I've heard that unanimously. I've not heard a single positive thing about that movie.
No.
And everyone said that, like, yeah, we also agree politics suck, but like, you can't just say that now. You have to have a point. So, oh well, shit happens. We wanted to spend a little more time talking about at-home movie premieres and how to make it feel like your little home theater, even if you don't have like the best sound system or TV setup. Do we have time to do that, Gene? Or
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we could just do this really quickly then. So for at-home stuff, it's obviously very different than a movie theater. But if you want to spice up your living room, your bedroom, your home office, or whatever, Gene, what kind of movie snacks do you like to snack on at home?
I really enjoy s'mores. Got into making that recently.
Nice.
Usually do it over my oven. I can't create a bonfire, but yeah, the graham crackers. Try to kind of put that in the toaster oven, and the chocolate, which is Hershey's. You shouldn't have anything else besides Hershey's, and just let it go for like maybe 5-10 minutes, and the graham cracker gets a little toasted, and it all melts, and you could do multiple ones at a time. That's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'm a popcorn lover by trade and talent, I guess. But I'm trying to eat a little healthier right now, so I don't have it with
Yeah.
butter anymore. So what I do have is popcorn with a little bit of olive oil,
Okay.
lemon juice,
Um,
a little bit of hot sauce. Your preference. If you like hot sauce, if you don't like hot sauce, ignore this, right?
Yeah.
But also jalapenos, right? Chop them up, toss them in there, whatever. And yeah, that's my little go-to one. But I also like I also like chocolate. I just said I like to trying to eat a little healthier right now, but
yeah.
I like Kit Kat bars, so I would snack on those
Take a run
for
there.
yeah, exactly. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar, and then watch Charlize Theron roundhouse kick a man in the face on the Old Guard. That's my recommendation.
Yeah.
Also, just a fun little thing. I used to do this when I was younger. I don't do this really anymore, but I might start doing it now because time has no meaning and my brain is broken because of the world.
Mhm.
When YouTube first started becoming a thing and movie trailers would go on there, I would watch movie trailers and then go watch a movie, right? Like in the comfort of my own home, just see like what's coming out. Okay. And then watch like Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Because one, I think that movie still kicks ass. And two, it's close enough to the movie experience. So I was like, all right, I can't afford to go out, but here you go. I'm watching trailers for Iron Man. Oh, that'll
Yeah.
suck. No one's gonna remember that. The Dark Knight. I hope that's good. And now I'm going to watch my DVD copy of Pirates of the Caribbean 3. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing that now. Although there's no more new movie trailers, really. So
not
I guess I'll just watch old movie trailers. And
Yeah.
maybe we should start doing like a movie club, Gene. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we
this
could
is
do that.
completely candid on the air. We have not discussed this at all.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll cut it if you're not into it. But like maybe we could start
No,
doing that.
Yeah, we should. That sounds pretty fun. I'm just glad to be talking to people.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's like book club, except no one likes to read. Reading's for losers. I'm just
True.
kidding. I've also been reading that Tarkovsky book again, and also Making Movies by Sidney Lumet, which is very good. I recommend that, Gene. I think you'll love it.
I already read it.
Okay, well, fucking okay. Well, then, fine. Sorry, I'm behind the times. I barely learned how to read last year. I think that's it. I think I said I was gonna go on a rant for some video game, but maybe that could be saved for another time.
Yeah, another time.
I don't know. Kurosawa made movies in color. That's my point. There you go. That's what he got. I'll tweet about it some more or something, or maybe I'll make a post on the Patreon where you can find us
Yeah.
and early access to a bunch of other things on the podcast and videos and other posts for fun and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And I think on that note, it is time to wrap up the show. So Gene, thank you again for hanging out with me and talking all these movies with me, even though you didn't see The Old Guard or Eurovision.
I'll see it eventually.
I think you'd like them. Oh, and you haven't started Avatar: The Last Airbender. Didn't you know Legend of Korra is coming out?
Yeah. It's not a movie, though.
No. No. It's not the same. Just watch the show, Gene. You'll feel so much better.
Yeah, I don't know. When I get around to it.
I'm going to go to your house and murder you. But before I do that, where can the people find you, Gene?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Gene9892.
And you can find me at Twitter at the Diego Crespo. Check out the Waffle Press on Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and Patreon. Again, don't forget the Patreon. And you can also recommend movies for us to watch there. We have a little bit of a backlog, but we're actually doing them now. So like, keep recommending them. We'll keep doing them. And if you just want to see what else is going on there, we're gonna be posting more stuff. The remaining episodes of Happy Emblem Season 1 will be available on your Patreon, like by the time this goes live. And then The announcement for the next retrospective will be announced the week this is released or the week after, but
Yeah.
basically the beginning of August. So thanks for
Keep on the
listening.
lookout.
Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.